Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us with another live stream. Great conversation here, and we're excited to be talking about the Mary Free Bed Guild. You might have heard about this organization and its involvement with the hospital here and in the history that we have. We've got two great guild members who are excited to tell us more about the history of the guild and how it's been involved in the hospital. We've got Mira Jourdan, we've got Amy Stuursma, both wonderful ladies that are just talking about this great organization, the Mary Free Bed Guild. So, Mira, why don't you just kind of paint the picture. You're the vice president of the guild right now, right? That's right. Tell me, what is the Mary Free Bed Guild and a little bit about that history.
Dave, thanks for having us, Chris. So the Mary Free Bed Guild is an organization that began in 1891. So we've been around for 135 years and or something like that. And back in the 1890s, the goal was to raise money for providing care to people who couldn't afford it. The ladies, more than 100 years ago, had black purses, and they gathered money and they paid for a bed in one of the local hospitals that was called the Mary Free Bed. From there, over the years, the Guild has been a force in responding to polio. We brought physical therapy to West Michigan. We helped the hospital bring prosthetics and orthotics to West Michigan. And all through these years, where we've been is we've been trying to continue to be the partners of the hospital to help steward the culture and to make sure that we are all focused together and restoring hope and freedom.
Yeah, that's great. Just such an involved group, and it's really, I like to always say, like the culture keepers of the hospital. Amy, tell me a little bit more about like what you guys are actively doing now. What are some of the priorities or just things that patients might see guild members and the way staff see guild members around the hospital?
Yeah, Chris, we really try and focus our energies and our time in patient experience, staff and employee appreciation, and retention, as well as supporting community organizations that are out in Grand Rapids that are supporting our patients who are living in the community of Grand Rapids and West Michigan and even Greater Michigan. So we really focus our time and energies there in terms of our volunteer hours. We also participate quite a bit in our shareholder responsibilities within different boards, within the Board of Trustees, our own Board of Directors, and several other boards out in the community. So all of our 120 members are giving of their time and their talents and their energy to really support the hope and freedom that happens at Mary Free Bed.
And I should have said this from the beginning. We're all sitting in the same room. We're looking over the hospital. It's just there's so much growth that's happening for our system as we're building the new children's hospital. We're working on the sixth floor to just expand and reach more patients. What's it like for people? I've talked to some guild members that have been volunteering for 30, 40, even 50 years, right? I mean, what's it like to have that community support that they've been here rallying around our teams for so long?
You know, we have several women who considered lifetime members. They've given over 30 years of time and service and compassion to Mary Free Bed. And to hear the stories and what it was like when and holding that history is really, really important. They are a big piece of the culture here at Mary Free Bed. And we hope to, Mira and I were talking earlier, we hope to have generations of women that follow to really keep that lead and keep the culture of Mary Free Bed spreading throughout not only Michigan, the Midwest, and beyond.
That's great. Yeah.
My original connection to the hospital was I was a resident here in neuropsychology. I'm a neuropsychologist about 14, 15 years ago. And I just reflect a lot on how much has changed here in those years. And I spent some time thinking about what life was like and what the dreams were like of our forebears 100 years ago. And if they could imagine what you all have accomplished, what we've accomplished together. I think sometimes too about, someday our children or our grandchildren will be doing something that maybe it would be hard for us to imagine today.
Yeah. And I should have also started this too. Every guild member brings a different set of skills to the team. And so we're going to get more into like your role too, Amy. But Mira, talk more about that. Like you bring a clinical background. Like how does that benefit the guild and overall the hospital too?
So my original connection is being here as a provider, as a trainee, and Mary Free Bed was instrumental in developing my career. And then when I got the opportunity to come back and give back, I thought it was great. I think that we bring a lot of different experiences. Most of the guild members are not clinicians, but I think that is wonderful too. We're all a part of a bigger story. I think that that's really something that's unique about rehab. We're not always the ones who are learning to walk again, but we're the part of the story of those people who learn to walk again. And so I think it's been great. And I've felt welcomed back ever since I got involved again.
Yeah, and we're happy to have you. Amy, so the reason we're talking today too is your new position, the executive director of the Guild. Can you tell me like what that role, what it entails?
Sure. So the executive director is a brand new role for the Guild. Here, the Guild has been in existence for 134 years, with many, many people working towards the same mission. But the executive director role is to really solidify what the Guild has been and needs to be in growth going forward. The Guild has had an incredible impact on the hospital, the patients that it serves, and the staff. And as the hospital continues to grow, the Guild needs to do so also. We know that we are very strong and present right here in Grand Rapids, but we have many other amazing providers and patients and families that are outside of Grand Rapids. So part of this role is to help expand the impact of the Guild into the greater network of Mary Free Bed.
Yeah, that's great. Mira, do you want to expand on that anymore too and kind of share your view on why this role is so important?
I really see Amy as a glue that holds us together as we have, different elected members of the Guild in various capacities. We have this longer mission. We've been around for 130 whatever years, but even thinking about right now, the things that we're trying to accomplish, we can't do them in a year or in 6 months. Amy is really going to be crucial in us being able to do that. I think that we haven't figured out all of the puzzle yet in terms of how we can be a presence and how we can be a support for all of the people who are experiencing rehab through our system. But what's on our minds almost every day is how do we touch the lives of all the people who are part of the Mary Free Bed world outside of Grand Rapids. And so I think that Amy's going to be a big part of that.
And Amy brings some great experience. So actually a Guild member before and then also a Guild president. So in the way that is, it's like a 2 or 3 year commitment, right? So there's just always different leadership, but now having Amy in this role, she's going to hopefully add some more continuity to what the Guild's vision is and everything.
Right. Our Guild leadership, president-elect, which is what Mira will be for 2 years, and then president, but then you're also past president for 2 years. So what you think is your 2 years of president is really 6. Yeah. But in that 6 years, you do learn so much about Mary Free Bed as a whole and really working with the organization and the staff. And I am honored to now be on the other side of that and be staff. I've just met some incredible people and have been so welcomed into the Mary Free Bed family here. And I know that all of our Guild members very much feel a part of that family also. And so being able to have the continuity and carry forward some of the initiatives as our leadership does turn over, that'll be a really big piece of my role.
Yeah. And Mira, why don't you share some of the great things about Amy, what she brings to the table, like with her experience too. So you come from education, right? East Grand Rapids. So tell us a little more about that role and maybe Mira, why you thought she was such a good fit for this.
Yes. So I do come from East Grand Rapids Schools Foundation. I spent 17 years of my career there supporting excellence in education and programming, and also working as an advocate for all public schools within Michigan and supporting their foundation work. So coming here to Mary Free Bed is very similar because there is support needed for programs and patient experience to have the very best outcomes we can have. So being able to work with volunteer bases, again, just like I did in East Grand Rapids, and bring that full circle has been fantastic. Even straight out of college, I had some experience at Wheelchair Adaptive Sports. I was working with that junior wheelchair sports camp out in Grand Valley as a 22-year-old.
I did not know that.
It is all circling back.
That's awesome. I love full circle stories.
I think spending time at camp is part of one of the things we have in common. To me, I think that Amy brings a strategy and insight into the bigger picture that the Guild really desperately needs. this is a big change for us. And so whenever there are big changes like this, I think that we're focused both on all the things that we want to do and be that we don't know how to do yet, but also all the things that don't change in terms of who we are and what we believe in. And I think that Amy's, I think that we had a lot of excellent candidates, but there was one obvious person who was the right person to be our leader in this capacity, and thankful that Amy was willing to do it.
As we are approaching the end of 25 and moving into 2026, what do you guys, we've talked a little bit about some of the goals, but anything else that you're looking for the Guild in just this near future for 2026?
I think in a very short term, it's very important for our staff members and patients to realize that our Guild members are here for them and they are present. But I think when you look at the whole package of all the things that the Guild members do, I'm not even sure all of our Guild members know all the facets. So really making everybody aware of how we can support and asking them where they need the support. What can we do better for you and with you and alongside, I think is going to be really important.
That's great. And as we get close to wrapping up this interview, I want to hear from both of you, like, what are some of your favorite Guild memories or favorite experiences? There's stuff that happens kind of every year, but Amy, what's one of your favorite parts of the Guild or a time of the year that you look forward to the most?
One of my favorite events that happens in conjunction with the Guild in the hospitals during Rehab Week. And you see all of the staff members coming out to enjoy the picnic, and it truly feels like a family picnic for hundreds. And being able to see every staff member and every Guild member out all working together and taking a breath of fresh air out in the sunshine for a picnic during the workday is fantastic.
And I know the staff love the lunch and all the fun stuff that goes along with that day as well, too. Mira, why don't you wrap us up? What's one of your favorite Guild experiences?
One of the first things I got to do was support the tent at the Riverbank Run. This is still called the Riverbank Run. Yeah. I ran the Riverbank Run a couple of times years ago, but we support our wheelchair athletes. And we had, the first year I went, we had Mary Free Bed staff show up and join in as well as Guild members. And what I love about it is that the patients are the stars. We're here to celebrate our athletes, many of whom were patients with the hospital. And I love putting them front and center. I don't have time to tell it today, but one of my favorite Riverbank Run stories also involves a wheelchair athlete. And so I love it when they're front and center, because I think that their dreams are what fuel us.
Yeah, you guys have been the lead supporters for the hand cycle and wheelchair division, and I know all the athletes are super thankful for that. If someone is watching this and they want to get involved with the Guild, they want to see how they can maybe volunteer and be that next group. I know we have our junior Guild, but what are some ways that they can get involved or find more information?
Yep. So we have the opportunity to learn more about the Guild on the website, the Mary Free Bed website. And if someone were interested in joining and wanting to learn more, we have information nights that we hold every January. And we welcome those who are interested and support the mission of the hospital and the mission of the Guild to come learn more about the Guild. And at that point, they'll have the opportunity to fill out an application also. So we really look forward to expanding all of the work that the Guild has been doing, not just in Grand Rapids, but in our other sites. So if somebody were watching this from Saginaw or Traverse City or other places where we have Mary Free Bed staff, that would be a good place to start for us.
Awesome. Mira, close us out. Why should someone get involved and support and maybe join the Guild?
I think that there are a lot of others out there. It's not for everybody what we do as a hospital and as a Guild, but for the people that do it and love it, there's nothing like seeing people take their lives back and restore their own hope. So I'd come join us if you're interested. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's one of those volunteering activities where you get back more than you give.
That is true. So for Mira and Amy, we are talking about the Mary Free Bed Guild, over 130 years involved in supporting this hospital and great efforts here in West Michigan and beyond. If you want more information about the Mary Free Bed Guild, you can go to maryfreebed.com/guild and find more information. Everybody, thank you so much for watching, and stay well.